What's up, fight fans, moviegoers, Jedis, and Sith? I'm Jay Cotto, the Boxing Jedi, and welcome to the Boxing and Jedi's Temple. And today we're going to go over something. I was on a live, I think it was sometime last week, we were talking about Star Wars, talking about how terrible The Last Jedi was, and I had brought up a point where, and I had promised you guys this video, so this is exactly why I'm bringing this video. Of course, I lit up some Yoda, because this is going to be a little, a little educational for us, for all of us. The only time Luke Skywalker, the only time he threw his saber to the ground was after the battle with Vader, as he spoke to the Emperor and told him that he was wrong, that he was a Jedi, just like he was, like his father before him. Episode 8, he just tossed it. Right? Now, the reason why I bring that up, and this is the main topic of it, is because that had a lot of symbolism when he threw it down on the ground, going up against the Emperor. Doing this with the lightsaber, when you're forward into time, where Luke Skywalker, I'm going to get into it. So basically, he just tossed it over his shoulder, and, in episode 8. And, well, let's explore the reasons as to why. Let's give these guys the benefit of the doubt. Okay, let's do that. Well, maybe he was tired of it all. Maybe Luke said, fuck it. I'm fucking done with that. There's no way I'm going to go and do that shit again, right? Seems like it, right? So maybe he was just tired of it all. He just didn't want to do it. It's understandable. Okay. Maybe he was scared. Maybe Luke said, oh, no. I don't think that I have what it takes. I'm not what I used to be. There's no fucking way that I'm gonna go and try to handle a brand new fucking empire. Like, no way. Now it's something bigger. Like, right? Supposedly, right? Okay. Well, that move in episode 8 did not go with the Luke Skywalker that is legend. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. You guys agree with me? Then agree with me. We can interact in this video. You can hit agree. You can type out agree. I'll know when I read it back that you agreed with me in this part. So we all know that him doing this, you're wrong. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. That has meaning, or does this have meaning? And throws it over his shoulder, right? Okay, so that, we all know, episode 8, Luke does not go with the Luke that is legend. It doesn't go with the Luke that we've read in books, as to novels, comic books, movies, wherever you were able to learn about Skywalker and his legend, Luke Skywalker that is, it just doesn't fit. Okay? It doesn't quite fit. Nor was he a killer, okay, and waiting to deal with killing his nephew. You see, the Luke Skywalker we know was not, he wouldn't have had fucking blazed his green lightsaber over his nephew and and was ready to kill him, or trying to decide, pondering whether he should kill him or not, because he felt the dark side within him. So the picture basically painted by Rian Johnson was just one reflection of himself. That's what that was. He was Luke Skywalker. If you take a look at it, he had this big responsibility, and when he was given the saber hilt, he just threw it over his shoulder. So when Rian Johnson was given Star Wars, this is exactly what he did with Episode 8. Just threw it over his fucking shoulder. Not saying that he was once a legend in any type like Luke Skywalker. We should have expected anything more, but we did expect him to do what Irving Kershner did and those as well that were given the mantle to, you know, even J.J. Abrams. Like, you know, and he just threw it over his shoulder, you know. So this picture of Luke Skywalker was just a fucking self-painted reflection of himself. Okay? Old, weak, uninterested, unfocused. That's basically what Rian Johnson is. So that's basically him. He is Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke Skywalker always learned the ways of the Force, okay? He was always interested. He was always wanting to better himself with learning the ways of the Force. He started off that way. Luke Skywalker worked hard to become a Jedi Knight, then a Jedi Master. Now, he knew powerful Jedi Masters who knew his father, who knew Yoda. And Luke was trained by the top Jedi Master, Yoda. Now, he held the ways of the Jedi to his heart. Luke Skywalker, that is. He held that to his heart. The ways of the Force, the Jedi training, that was him. It was just all him. It was basically his way of life. He had traveled the fucking galaxy in order to obtain Jedi relics. Okay? This is not even a third of Luke Skywalker's legend. So he traveled the galaxy in order to get Jedi relics. So how is it that Luke Skywalker became so shadowed? How is it that he became sheltered as well? At the same time, you gotta ask, why give a map or hide a map in the droid? Just like Leia did with the Prince of the Death Star. Why give a location to find them when you found him, he was already done with it? If Luke was already done with shit, he never would have dropped the location to find him. So why give away a map of Ahch-To? And then you find him and he's already like given up. Now Luke Skywalker was a strong Force user. To only die from it? Really? So you mean to tell me he stops using it for a short while, and then he decides to use it again, and then he fucking dies? Like, this is what they've done to Luke Skywalker. Like, does this make any sense to you? He went from Jedi Knight, he went from Padawan to Jedi Knight to Master Jedi. Doesn't use the Force, and when he finally uses it, he dies. In this fucking case, regardless it was projecting, regardless anything, at the age that Obi-Wan Kenobi used the fucking Force as to the Force mind trick, as to dueling with Darth Vader, shouldn't he have died? When Yoda pulled up the fucking X-Wing fighter, when he told Luke, and that is why you failed, right? Why didn't he die? And he hadn't used the Force in a long time either. Possibly longer than Luke did. I mean, he was in the Dagobah system ever since the fucking Order fucking 66. So, him staying away from the Force and then using it again, regardless he did a projection or not, Luke Skywalker was the most fucking powerful fucking Jedi. He takes a layoff. He takes a fucking layoff, and now all of a sudden it's on some shit where he uses the Force and he's dead now. He just fucking vanishes. So, in that case, if you ride a bike, if you haven't ridden a bike for a long time and you actually happen to ride on it, does this actually mean you're gonna fucking drive yourself into traffic because you don't know your balance? You can't find your balance again? It's been a long time. This is exactly what I'm saying. Luke Skywalker had mastered the Force. On top of that, he was a master Jedi. Did he master the Force? Master Jedi. Did he not master the Force? So, especially living on the same planet, the same habitat area, okay, where the Force scriptures and the fucking Force tree were. Now, was it an attempt for Rian Johnson and Kennedy to kill the old Star Wars formula in order to force feed us with this new diluted formula of failure? Yes. Of course. That's the only logical explanation for this shit, guys. And we know this. Let's move on. Yoda or any Force ghost should not have been able to interact physically. If this was the case, why didn't Obi-Wan help Luke on Bespin in Cloud City? Now we all know that Obi-Wan Kenobi was not one to interfere with one's destiny. But ask yourself this, would had Obi-Wan Kenobi stepped in, since we know that Yoda, remember, Obi-Wan Kenobi is a Jedi Master, not a Jedi Knight. He's surpassed that. So would he have been able to use his Force powers? Would he have been able to use it? And physically manipulate? I don't know. It's possible. But it never happened. It never happened. So now we have this here where you see Yoda would not have let Luke fall into a slum. Obi-Wan Kenobi never would have let Luke fall into a slum. Now, this is where the film, the writer, the director, everybody involved with Episode 8 contradicts themselves. This is why it doesn't go with Star Wars. This was my whole meaning. If Yoda was able to interact physically being a Force ghost, but yet Obi-Wan never allowed Luke to stray away from the Force. Yoda neither. Why weren't they there? Why weren't they there? Why weren't they there? They should have been there. This is exactly why Luke was one with the Force. He was able to see his father at the end as well. He had 3 Force projections that never would have let him go into that slum. Regardless if he wanted to stop, they would have told him, no, you can't, no, right? We all know this. We all fucking know this. This is why 8 doesn't go with anything. Why would Yoda show up only at this moment to ridicule Luke as well? Like, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Why would he show up? And on top of that, destroy the scriptures? Really? Destroy the Force tree? Really? Really? Okay. So, when Luke threw his saber, once again, his saber hilt to the ground, it was a symbol to show the Emperor that he would not fight for him and he would not fight for the dark side. This was done with integrity. Now, what Rian Johnson had done was he made Luke Skywalker look like a quitter. Okay, so as we were called man babies and cousin basement fuckers, and also to stop whining. Well, I say it like this: SJWs, Pablo Hidalgo, and everybody else, Rian Johnson, Kerry Hilson, or Kerry, whatever the fuck your name is. Take your own advice and insults. And stop crying about what you don't like. Stop whining about many male lead roles. Stop complaining about everything you didn't think of that actually turned out to be cool. Stop your hidden agendas and feminist political force ideologies. We don't need them. Okay? We don't like your world. Okay? We like the one that we already lived in. Okay? We like that world, and this is the world that we want to continue to live in. So you guys just need to leave us alone. Leave Star Wars alone. If you're given the task to film Star Wars, do your research, find the chemistry, and then start filming. But even then, you will run into problems. So if you don't know Star Wars, just don't do it. We'd rather not see a Star Wars film be made than it be made and it turned into somebody else's shit when it's not that. You know, Rian Johnson, you came out and said, and this is exactly why there is nothing else you can say. If John Campea wants to lick your nuts, he can do that too. There's nothing that anybody can say to defend Rian Johnson when you come out and you say Star Wars is not everyone's. When it was given to me, I took it as my own. Are you fucking crazy? You're contradicting yourself. See, because I could tell you Star Wars was mine before it was yours. Star Wars was Stephanie Janssen's before it was yours. Star Wars was Stick Johnson's before it was Johansson's before it was yours. Star Wars was T. Groves before it was yours. Star Wars was Mary Vidalis's. Star Wars was Drunk 3PO's. Star Wars was everybody in the Star Wars community. Craig from Reviews for You. Bonnie. Star Wars is everybody's. Not just yours, Rian Johnson. And when you did that and you said that, we already knew. You blew your cover. You took Star Wars and you turned it into your own shit. And now we see how you see Star Wars. Sucks. And you took Luke Skywalker, son of Anakin Skywalker. You took Luke Skywalker and you turned him into an old man. This was the last image that George Lucas left us with. George Lucas left us with Luke Skywalker, the Master Jedi. Graduated and given his Master Jedi-ship by the last Master Jedi, Yoda. And Yoda passed, and now he was the last Jedi. So Luke Skywalker has been the last Jedi since episode 6. Okay? Let's understand this. So now with him being ridiculed and tarnished, I still look at Luke Skywalker like this. The hero, the savior of the galaxy, the Master Jedi. The thing that I don't like about what Rian Johnson and everybody tried to do was on some gentrification, out with the old and with the new. And you did it with no class. You did it with no class. In sports, and it's becoming that way. It's becoming this way in this era. It's always like that. No class. People proclaim torches are passed without the person passing the torch saying, I'm passing the torch. You feel what I'm saying? It's happening in sports, in movies, everywhere. So now that we know the problem, we stay away from it. Otherwise than that, this has been a tribute to Luke Skywalker, and just basically a look behind the destruction of Luke Skywalker, which is terrible. Otherwise than that, I'm Jay Carter, your boy telling the truth within the Star Wars universe. God bless, stay vigilant, and may the Force be with you. Peace.